Every day is a new beginning. Shine your light. It's a day and the world is waiting. Move along to the song, singing in your soul. Feel the beat, clap your hands, let it take control. All you need, all you want, are you ready to find your way? 'Cause every day is a new day.
Welcome to Wisconsin Family. I'm Jessa Jeremiah.
And I'm Justin Riley, and we are here at the Black Locust Cafe over on East Washington Avenue, part of the Robinia Courtyard family of restaurants. And what a great place this is.
Oh my gosh, I have never been in here. This is my
This is
first
your
time
first time,
stepping
isn't it?
foot.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. It's so adorable.
It's very nicely done.
And we're watching some of the food come out here, and oh my goodness.
It's fascinating. It's something you wouldn't think they would even make. Like, we just learned about cheese toast between takes here. It looks delicious. So if you've never been down here, come on down here. We're going to be talking to John Reske a little bit later on in the program. He's going to be talking about some of the exciting new developments here at Robinia Courtyard. Two of the restaurants closed down, but they'll be giving birth
There's a greater
to some new ones.
purpose.
Yes.
Yeah, giving birth.
Giving birth.
Justin Riley, it's never a dull moment.
No, it is not.
We have a great show for you today. We are talking to Zenith Hospitality Group. They're going to be joining us, so we look forward to that.
Yep. They always have. They've got some great deals going on over there, and they really are hospitable. Can I just say that?
They are very hospitable, as promised.
We'll also be joined by Mike Diaz from the Diaz Law Firm, talking about something very pleasant.
Yeah,
bankruptcy.
a tough topic to tackle, bankruptcy, but you know what? When you're in a tough spot, you're in a pickle, you need some help sometimes, and we're going to unmuddy the waters for you in just a little bit.
Right after the break here in Wisconsin Family, so stick with us.
Welcome back to Wisconsin Family. The smell of coffee is in the air, and it's perfect timing because I could use a cup. How about you?
In the air, in my nose, soon to be in my belly.
Yes, looking forward to chatting with the folks here. We're at Black Locust Cafe near the Capitol on East Washington, and we're going to have a great show for you. But right now, we're going to talk about tackling a little bit of a tough topic today. We're talking about bankruptcy, and joining us is our resident expert here. We've got Mike Diaz, who is joining us, owner and attorney. Glad to see you today.
Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for being here. So this is a tough topic because there's a lot to know and a lot to try and figure out when you're going through something. But let's first talk about the general, what is bankruptcy and how does it work?
Bankruptcy really is a section within the federal law, and what it deals is try to provide a respite to individuals who have basically fallen hard times.
Sure.
This is the time usually when I see a lot of those because people during the holidays, sometimes they overspend. They max their credit cards, and then they check out their income and go, oh my God, I cannot pay my bills. And I see a lot of those struggling that I see. Obviously, I call that to be the hangover post the holidays. Post-holiday hangover.
Financial hangover.
Yes, it is.
Okay, well said.
That's a good way of putting it. And I've often heard people say, yeah, I'm going to file for Chapter 7 or Chapter 13, or I've even heard Chapter 11. What is the difference between all of those different chapters?
Yeah. Well, when you look at the code, they're dividing certain chapters. An individual debtor will file either under Chapter 7 or Chapter 13. A Chapter 7 basically is an individual that wants the court to eliminate their debts. We call that the liquidation chapter. A 13 is basically in which you ask the court to appoint an individual called a trustee. You know, both cases have the trustee, but in this particular case, the trustee will look at your assets and will put you on a payment plan. Usually lasts about 5 years. So it secures you, puts you on a kind of a strict budget to pay off all your debts.
Now, is there a way, let's talk a little bit about your personal assets during this process. Now, do people lose their home and lose their car, or is there a way to keep those assets during this process?
Well, usually individuals, when you file for bankruptcy, if those items are secured by a lien, like a mortgage or a title, basically the creditor owns the property. So when you file for bankruptcy, they can reclaim that property. However, there's a process by which individuals who have what's called a secure property or secure creditors, you can enter into an agreement, usually it's called a reaffirmation agreement, by which you try to keep that item continuing to make the payments. However, I want to tell people there is also a downside to it. If you fail to make the payments as agreed, guess what? They're gonna take over the property.
Right.
So it's very critical when you speak with somebody about your financial situation. to ensure to make a wise decision as to whether or not you want to keep those items.
Gotcha. So you got to make sure not to overpromise and underdeliver. Be realistic about what you can afford.
And that is correct.
Okay.
Yeah, and now the process of either filing for bankruptcy, and you mentioned paying off the debt, sometimes it's a 5-year plan. Is that a typical amount of time for how long it takes? What's the time frame for filing and completing?
Well, for a Chapter 7, which is basically the liquidation chapter, from time to filing to discharge, final discharge, it can take between 6 and 7 months.
Oh, okay.
Okay? For a 13, obviously because you are put in a payment plan, it takes longer.
Sure.
So the average is about probably 5 years, a little bit longer, depending upon the amount of debt we're looking at putting into the plan.
Right.
Okay, and let's talk about limitations when we're talking about specifically Chapter 7 bankruptcy. What are the limitations there?
Well, for limitations, people need to understand that there's a limitation as to number one, residency. How long have you lived in the county? Are you live in the county that you're filing for? After all, if you live in Milwaukee, you'll be filing the Eastern District of Wisconsin. If you're in Dane County, Columbia County, Sauk County, those will fall within the jurisdiction of the Western District, will be Madison. I think that they need to understand is once you file for bankruptcy, you're banned to file again for a period of 8 years. There's an 8-year ban.
Okay.
And for Chapter 13 is also there's a ban. I believe it's 6 years or less.
Okay.
6 years, I believe.
That makes sense though, because you've sort of taken this step that you need some help, and I can understand why there would be a limit to how many times you can take
Also,
that
there's
step.
certain requirements. The law changed in 2005, which now, if you want to apply for a Chapter 7, you need to enter into a credit course or a counseling course.
Sure.
So that is mandatory. If you don't do that, you cannot file.
Interesting.
I
But
like
your
that,
attorney, your
though.
attorney can explain that when you
Right.
speak to
I think
them.
that's really smart because it's not just here you go, let's get this done. There's education behind it.
That is
Yeah,
correct.
here's how to do it. Is there another option besides filing for bankruptcy? If people are thinking, man, I'm just buried in debt right now, I think Chapter 7 is my only option. Is there another option?
There's an option under Wisconsin law. It's called 128. The reason why is because it's a section of the statute is called Section 128, so everybody calls it a 128.
Okay.
Bottom line, it is instead of filing federal court, you file in state court, and this is called it's not a bankruptcy. It's an amortization of debt. Basically, you put a plan, you get assigned to an individual, and they put you in a payment plan. So that's another option. Individuals who may not be able to qualify for a Chapter 7 because they're banned or their income is too much, may want to consider use this other option under Wisconsin law.
Wow, okay. Well,
Lots of good information.
yeah, Mike, our expert here, you've done a great job of turning a tough topic into layman's terms for us. So
And again, people, if the whole idea is to be educated before,
Right.
it is very important that you do that. It's a very important part in any people's life.
Very good. Well, thank you so much, Mike, from Diaz Law Firm. We appreciate your time. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
joining us.
Thank you very much.
We're going to be back with more Wisconsin Family here at Black Locust Cafe, so please stay with us.
'Cause every day is a new day.
Welcome back to Wisconsin Family. We're sitting here at the Black Locust Cafe over on East Washington Avenue, part of the Robinia Courtyard family of restaurants. We're going to be talking to those folks later on in the program, but first I'm joined now by Samantha Taylor, who is the operations manager over at Zenith Limousine and Jets. Samantha, welcome back.
Thank you. Good morning.
Yeah, always good to see you.
Yeah, you as well.
Yeah, it's you were telling me it's a little bit too early today, but
Yeah.
good thing we're in a coffee shop today, am I right?
Thank goodness. Yes.
So, when you say you guys do travel services, what all does that entail?
So basically, we are also a full travel agency inside of everything else that we do.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, which is pretty awesome. I know that travel agencies are kind of not on the map as much as they used to be.
Right, right.
But they're still important, and quite a few people actually still use them. It
Right.
makes it just a little bit more convenient.
Of course, yeah. And, traveling, if you're like me and you don't travel a whole lot, I think that's a really good service to offer because, I can do as much research as I want to online, but I may not know all the things that you do because you're in the industry.
Correct.
So, yeah. What are some of the perks of using your service versus online services like Orbitz or Priceline and other travel websites?
So first thing is we are very comparable to all of those travel websites. So our prices are the same, if not better.
Okay.
So it's nice that way to where you're still getting those deals and those prices, So it's the convenience of it. But then again, like if your flight gets delayed, or if you have questions about which is best for your family, what resorts have true all-inclusives, which ones have the best resort credits, things like that, we're going to be better than, you know, just looking at online.
Right, and that, you know, I've been in that situation before where I'll find a hotel or something on Priceline or something like that, and then I have a question, so I end up by calling the hotel and asking the hotel person questions, and then if I want to do a rental car, I call the rental car place to ask questions, but they can just call you and you can have all the answers.
Take care of all of it for you. It's also nice when you have issues with the hotel or the flight. You don't have to sit on hold for hours. You're not talking to a computer. You're talking to me, someone who you know, who you have that rapport, and then I call and then I can sit on hold for you.
Right, there you go. You'll do the grunt work. That's great. So, do you promote any holiday specials? Do you have any holiday specials to promote?
Right now we have two major ones. So the first one is our spring break, and that is to go to Vegas. So it is flight and hotel at Treasure Island. It's $500 a person, which is quite cheap, especially this close up to it. You know, flights tend to go up the closer that you get to the date. So that is a promotion that we're having right now for spring break, and then we also have our first summer family vacation. So we have two different type of all-inclusive resorts in Cancun and Riviera Maya.
Wow, we're not even out of fall yet, and we're already talking about summer. Wow.
Yes.
You must be a planner. I can see that.
Very much so.
When you say $500, is that just for the flight then?
That's for the flight and the hotel.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That is
So it would be from March 17th to the 21st.
Wow.
So it's at Treasure Island. So it includes your room. It's for 4 people, so 2 persons per room, so 2 rooms.
Yeah.
And that includes flight to and from, as well as the hotel.
That really is a good deal if you think about that you're staying in Vegas for 4 nights, 5 nights, something like that. I mean, plus the flight, I mean, that's a really, really good deal.
And it's a great location, a great hotel. You're right there close to everything, so it really adds that extra perk to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you guys do group travel, personal or business trips or anything like that?
Yes, we do all of those. A lot of people, you know, it's small families, 1 or 2 persons, and then some kids, which, by the way, we have a lot of kids stay for free deals going on right now as well, which is also great for family travel. But we also will work with businesses, so smaller businesses, corporate businesses, we can take care of all that for you. So no matter how big your group is, we can make sure that we accommodate everybody.
No group too big, no group too small, it sounds like.
Not at all.
I'm curious to know, when is your busy time of the year?
It kind of varies. It's kind of like a roller coaster.
Okay, so it's a roller coaster.
Yeah, summer is definitely a lot busier as far as weddings and ballet and limos as far as that goes.
Yeah.
But then the winter, ballet kicks up because it's nicer because nobody wants to walk after parking. And then holidays are always a busy time for us as well.
And your business is diversified enough to where you can compensate for if there's a drop in travel, there's an increase in valet. So that's very smart of you to do that.
Yeah, thank goodness, because you're always busy, so you never get bored.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to make sure that I mention this to viewers. How far are you guys willing to go as far as driving your limousines up to pick people up? What is your range of service or your distance?
The entire state. I've driven to Green Bay a bunch of times. I've driven past Green Bay. So it doesn't really matter. We can go wherever you want to go.
So if you're watching anywhere in our viewing area or outside of our viewing area and you're in the state of Wisconsin, give these folks a call. They'll come and pick you up. I mean, reserve it ahead of time, obviously.
Right.
But they'll come and pick you up, and you'll be traveling in style.
Yes.
Samantha Taylor, thank you so much for
Yeah,
joining
of course.
us today.
No, thank you.
Yeah. Samantha Taylor is the operations manager over at Zenith Limousine and Jets. We'll be right back with more Wisconsin Family right here at the Black Locust Cafe, part of Rabinia Courtyard, right after this. Stick with us. Welcome back to Wisconsin Family. We're over here at the Black Locust Cafe on East Washington Avenue. We've been here all show.
Yeah, we've had a lovely time. It's been great.
Yes.
Starting to get hungry. I don't know about you.
Well, I'm starting to get more awake.
That's good.
Just the
coffee,
smell. Just the smell of coffee just wakes me up in the morning. So we're joined now by John Reske. How are you, John?
Doing well.
Thanks for having us today.
Absolutely.
And we're just going to riff a little bit today.
Yeah, we don't really have any notes.
So talk to us about what's new. What's happening at the Rabinia? I mean, Black Locust Cafe is part of the Rabinia Courtyard enterprise, if you will. Tell us what's new, what's happening.
Well, obviously, you guys are aware of the news with the closing of Julep and Barolo back in January 1st, officially. So, you know, we've been working on reprogramming the spaces, taking potential tenants through there, and looking at possible ways to obviously re-envision those spaces as well as complement what we have, what our ultimate vision was with the original Rabinia Courtyard concept.
Right.
So we've had a lot of interest, and we've decided to plow forward with a new restaurant group, actually. So we've been assembling a new team, which we're very excited about. I can't name all the names because some of them are still members of other organizations, but you know, Chef Nick Johnson's still on board, and he's obviously wants to return to what his passion was, which was kind of a European delivery of New World flavors, and so he's put together a really cool menu under the name of the Coterie. Actually, is going to be the name of the new space in back, actually.
Nice. Beautiful.
And we're excited because we're going to be doing some fundraising dinners here to kind of round out our capital raise here and get us launched soon. Hopefully we're open in maybe 2 months. That might be a little optimistic.
Wow.
But you know, there aren't going to be too many changes to the space. We'll be adding some fixtures and redoing some of the existing fixtures that obviously signified Julep's existence. And Barolo is actually going to be turned into this sort of a rotating tap house, actually. Brandon Brisky, whom you've met before, big beer aficionado, was with One Barrel for quite some time, and we were exploring some, you know, again, some ways to complement the existing uses, right? Black Locust Cafe, a little bit of a higher end restaurant in back with the Coterie, you know, chef driven concepts. And how can we kind of capitalize what we have going on in the courtyard? And so again, that beer garden concept in the off hours. So what we're going to be doing is rotating various brewers through the spaces. Actually, we've got some strategic partnerships already lined up with some existing brewers, bring them in on a month by month basis. They take over. They have some one-offs that are only available here as well, and we sign them up month by month. So I think it's a pretty cool concept. Obviously, it's not going to be the wine bar that Barolo once was, but a lot of the wine offerings that Barolo once had will be incorporated in the Coterie and back too. So again, everything that we were once familiar with is all going to be available here at Rabinia Courtyard soon.
That's wonderful.
And I think that's important for people to know that just because you had 2 places that closed down doesn't mean that they're going to stay closed down. There's going to be something new and exciting coming.
Well, I'm really excited about the newness that you have coming because you talk a little bit about some of the concepts, like a chef-driven concept, and bringing some experts in that are really knowledgeable in the beer industry. Talk to us about how important that is. I mean, the people that you have in place when you're driving from behind and the product is at the forefront of what you're doing and your vision, getting the right folks is key.
Oh, absolutely. And it's honestly, it's something I know nothing about, right? And you have to surround yourself with a solid team. They have to be passionate about what they're going to be selling, and I think we've really put together a good, solid group here as far as that goes. So yeah, it does. I mean, because they're going to be in there day in, day out and pushing that product and bringing the people in. And obviously we've created a beautiful space here, and we're very excited because obviously American Family Insurance, I don't know if you know, they just had their groundbreaking ceremony on Wednesday, right? So everything next door is going to be moving forward and should be open by spring of 2018. So again, it's just, not that we're playing the waiting game, we've got a great concept, but we're very excited to move forward because all the pieces are finally falling into position now.
That is so exciting. Yeah, this is such a beautiful space. Just this is my first time at Black Locust Cafe, and you've taken a concept and made it very pretty and unique and aesthetically pleasing, and it's just incredible smells and, you know, great little spaces to sit. And I love this space already, so I'm excited to see what you're going to do. But share with me a little bit about you talked a little bit about the initial mission or vision of Rabinia Courtyard. What is that? What was the sort of ground that you've established yourself on?
Well, it was really about, you know, originally I'm real estate development first, right? And obviously I'm always looking for creative projects, opportunities to take existing buildings, turn them into something new. And then on top of that, you have an opportunity to take, you know, be part of this 200-acre renaissance, if you will, right? Cap East District's been rotting since, you know, the 40s, basically. And so we got an opportunity to get in ground first and be part of something new here, right? I mean, there's hundreds of millions of dollars of reinvestment going on right now around us, and so it's exciting to be a small part of that. And so, you know, you take all of your loves and compound it with, again, this this opportunity to recreate this district. It's very exciting. So
it is. It's a rehab of this little area here, and to be a part of that is wonderful. To bring the traffic back to this location and this area, and the excitement and the energy of people that can come to this space, and to be a part of that is an exciting thing.
Absolutely.
And I'm curious to know. I mean, are you kind of a two-part question? Are you looking to have any other people or experts or take on anybody else as part of this endeavor moving forward? And then also, how have you found the people that you found who are as passionate as they are? How do you find people like that?
Well, I don't want to say they come out of the woodwork. Obviously, there is a bit of a I don't want to say glut, but there's a lot of restaurants out there, right? Everybody who has a good idea has basically had an opportunity to try and implement it, in some form or fashion throughout the city of Madison.
Very saturated restaurant market.
It's pretty saturated. So it's harder than you might think, but you establish enough contacts in the industry, and people are always bouncing off of each other. That exchange of ideas is always happening. Wouldn't it be great if? And again, it's just a matter of getting access to resources to make it happen, and then obviously implementing the idea once it takes off.
Well, I'm a strong believer of if you're creating energy and buzz and excitement in your space, people tend to be drawn to that.
Absolutely.
And so you have the opportunity then to have people sort of come to you and be excited to jump on board with you.
Yeah.
That's
now, are
great.
you open for more people coming to you at this point? Or are you pretty well set as far as?
We're through these investment dinners. We're definitely looking for capital raise, right? And it's really just a debt form, right? So it's not like we're looking for partners or anything like that. But we are bringing in. The community is very much behind Ravinia Courtyard as a concept. So we've got a lot of people that are interested. But we're always looking for more. You always want enough working capital to get to the finish line. But as far as our team goes, we're pretty set actually. We've got a good team. It's rounded out between the three spaces.
That's a good place to be, because once you have the right people in place, you can really move forward and charge ahead together as a group. So
Absolutely.
That's wonderful.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Real quick before we go, tell us about some things that people can get on the menu here at Black Locust
Or
Cafe.
what I can get in just a minute.
All right, in about 5 minutes, you're going to be ordering.
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to think we're famous for our jianbing, right, which is that traditional Chinese crepe sandwich that I don't think anybody else has to offer in the city of Madison. And we've got a couple of riffs on that with a Cuban sandwich version and a veggie sandwich version. But, we've got some fantastic bowls, some great open-faced sandwiches, a little of everything, actually. And then, obviously, our sweet and savory crepe selection is pretty solid as well. So.
And we're going to take advantage of that.
You had me at veggie sandwich.
Good thing this
it.
is the last segment.
Yes, that's right.
John Reske, thank you so much for having us today. We've been here at the Black Locust Cafe, part of the Ravinia Courtyard family of restaurants over on East Washington Avenue. That's all the time we have for Wisconsin Family. We'll see you next time.
Every day is a new beginning. Shine your light. It's a day